All right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons, in the studio HQ at the new booth. Guys, check us out on YouTube, by the way. Joined, as always, by Randy Angston. What's up, buddy?
Hey.
Did I just see you?
I know, it feels like we're just here.
Quick announcement. We have our coaching program. It is the Business Accelerator. It's 8 weeks of mind-blowing, face-melting, wig-splitting content for your business. winninggym.com/grow. If you have any interest in making 2023 your best year ever, this is the program for you. In fact, that is our promise. You will have your best year ever if you follow the directions.
Run the play.
It's math. It's common sense. It's doing the right things over and over. It's it's not super sexy, I'll be honest with you, but you know what? The outcome is really, really sexy on the back end of having systems, and the chance that you could just walk away from your business one day and have it running and operating without you involved. Hey, that's a pretty good feeling. I know it personally, firsthand. It's a great feeling. So if you find yourself stuck doing so much in your gym, wearing all the hats, right? Gym owners do this. They're janitors, they're coaching, they're doing the program, sales, marketing, answering the phone, talking to clients all day. Oh, and now you got to figure out how to grow the business too. Like this, if this is you, this is the program that you're going to need to jump in. We're taking on more clients. winninggym.com/grow.
Yeah, let's have a call. Let's chat. Let's chat it out.
Let's
we'll
chat.
find the problems. I'll give you some direction, and then we'll make a decision.
Perfect. All right. So this episode, guys, I'm looking around my area, at least in North Scottsdale, and I'm seeing gym after gym after gym popping up. Grand opening, first F45. I got a new, something else I've seen around before. Elite training program thing. I've never seen more gyms open up in a 2-month period than I've in 15 years. I've been here. Like I don't know what's happening. I don't know if COVID blew out all the old gyms and now the new gym guys are getting motivated to come back into the market. Cool, but at the end of the day, we got some competition, more competition. It's not like we have never had any. I mean, this is raise your hand if you have competition in your market, right?
Yeah.
Like, of course, everybody has competition, right? But it's just interesting that all of a sudden, like I've got 3 F45s. I've never had, we had one F45 open up and they closed a couple years back, but then now we got new ones popping up, right?
And everywhere. And
it's crazy.
Yeah.
So now you have to think, okay, well, if there's more gyms at the market, first thing, it probably means you're in a pretty good market, because especially when a franchise opens up, they've done the research.
Research,
so
sure.
obviously you're in a good market. So thumbs up if that's happening. But now you've got to beat competition, more competition. How do you beat them? Like, what is the thing that you do that nobody else can do? And if you both offer fitness of some solution, maybe it's group training, maybe it's semi-private, whatever you do. To the end user, it's fitness, okay?
Correct.
Then there's nutrition. Pretty much everybody offers nutrition. Then you've got the accountability work, and everybody kind of offers that at some levels. Like, what is it that you do that is different? And so the X factor is X-perience.
There you
right?
go.
The experience that you give your clients cannot be matched because it's your experience. So that's one thing that you need to lean on. And if you're a coaching client of ours, you're going to get hammered on this, because we want you to look at every single step of the process. Every time you walk in the gym, look around. Is it clean? Is it neat? Does it smell like? Does it sound like? How do you answer the phone? All of that goes into experience. But probably the biggest piece of the experience puzzle that most gyms think they've got right, or they think it's handled, is the training itself. The experience after the clock hits 0 and the training program starts to the time they leave, that's your thing, okay? You need to look at that, right? If you're a large group training facility, you can really go over the top in something like this, right? The music, the high fives, chest bumps, the
Hype, the hype, energy.
That's really something you can set yourself apart on. If you're a semi-private training facility like ours, there's a lot of other things that go into that are not hypey, right?
Sure.
And so I guess the point of this episode is to take a look at your experience. Is it the best it can be? If it's not, what can be improved?
Yeah, and you hit it with the training, because I could tell you from the phone calls that I have with gym owners, almost every time the gym owner thinks that their training is the best thing that there's ever been. I mean, it's just their belief, right? Like if I ask, oh, what's unique about your experience? Oh, or well, we provide the greatest results of anybody in our area. Okay, well, that's part of your experience, right? That's the goal of every fitness facility. So cool, you checked the box to keep your doors open.
Let me pause you for a second. If your results that you claim are the best, but it takes you 7 days a week of 3 hours a day of training and eating like sawdust, then that experience isn't great. Yeah, the results are the best, but the experience to get those results is probably the worst.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, we've talked about that in the past, right? Like if the solution is undesirable, nobody's going to take it, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, of course, like if you've got competition prep diets for every one of your Gen Pop clients and all of these things, sure, maybe you can deliver a phenomenal result for few. But that is not how you're going to get the experience across for the many. And this is one of those areas where, I mean, this is probably the biggest differentiator, because we've seen businesses that have been run really lousy when it comes to understanding the math and the sales process and all of that. But we can't figure out, or well, we can figure out, but they got people knocking down their door to be part of that group or part of that experience. The other end of the spectrum is, right, like you've got people that have marketing in place, they've got the sales in place, and then their retention sucks. And you walk through their doors and you're like, this is like, I don't want to be, it's like a dentist office. Like this is not where anybody wants to spend their time. And that's where the music and the energy and the smell and all of those things. We talked about, like you said, like maybe the semi-private doesn't have the hype and the energy and all of that. No, but we've got an in-body that shows you the results that we're talking about. It's not just conversation. It's data-driven. It's backed by that, right? And our clientele, that's what they're looking for, is those results.
Sure.
And so that's another unique experience that we provide that not every other facility does. I was having a phone call with the gym owner, and his belief was that they have the absolute best experience or best, training offering in the entire area. And then we got into the model, and he was doing a combination of MedCon and strength training, but doing it with one coach and up to 20 people wide. And I'm like, there's absolutely no, like personally, it made me unsettled because like, I'm not comfortable putting 20 people underneath a barbell, or hell, 10 at once, maybe, underneath a barbell loaded with weight, and saying that I'm confident, making sure that every one of those people are doing what they're supposed to be doing. There's only one of them.
Well, I'll tell you what, like even in college football, we would have that and there would still be guys getting hurt.
Yeah.
And these are elite athletes that know how to squat, know how to deadlift. I was next to, on a rack, the guy did a power clean. His legs came out from under him. The bar came back on his throat, broke his wrist right next to me. And he was just, and this is a guy that had been power cleaning his whole life, right? Like since he was 15 years old, right? So if elite athletes are going to get hurt in a large group setting, because that's the way you train at football, right? How do you expect your current clients that are, moms and dads are just kind of weekend warriors, not going to get hurt with a barbell in a large group setting? I mean, that's the knock on CrossFit, right? That's the knock.
True.
The injury rate is high. And so be careful, right? And don't shoot yourself in the foot, because you can make large group training work with semi-private in a same facility. We did it for years.
That was my recommendation.
But the key here is what?
Differentiate them. You have to have, those are two entirely different experiences.
Yeah.
And not the biggest thing, because obviously injury and providing that result for the client is the whole reason that we're here doing it. But for the business, you cannot charge semi-private rates when you're doing that type of deliverable. Right? When we have in your business, we've got 1 to 6, and others 1 to 3, 1 to 4. With that individualized attention, not just individualized programming, because let's say they had that 20 wide, but now the attention and the security and the safety that goes along with it allows us to charge a little bit more. But if you have both of those deliverables in one service, how you have to differentiate those. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer that you've got a layer of semi-private and then you've got a layer of team training. 2 different deliverables, 2 different services, 2 different membership options, or maybe you semi-private model with that as an ancillary add-on or something like that. But then the training experience visually and the experience of doing it have to be different. MedCon is not strength training, right? And to your point, like that was kind of the problem with some of the CrossFit and things like that, is we're putting weight on a barbell, and then we're having them do AMRAPs, and we're doing all these, like, guys, this is not effective and safe and efficient. And then the business doesn't support, like, you don't get what you want out of it because we're trying to do something that's just not the way it should be done.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the hardest thing we have to do is take a gym that's doing what you're saying, where they're doing strength training in a large group atmosphere, and break off semi-private, and also break down the large group to kind of minimize it, right? Body weight Metcon over there, strength training program design over here, and then having the clients go along with it. It's the hardest thing we do. It's easy when you don't have the strength training element in the large group training. It's not that it can't be done. We've done it a million times, right? We can get it broken out. But here's the good news, guys. You've been over delivering for so long. It's time to, like, start getting paid.
Now you get paid for the work you do. Yes,
your work that you're doing, right, in the semi-private. So, going back to kind of the experience, right? The training itself. How many gym owners out there just, they have all these trainers and they just leave the programming up to the coaches? Whoa, pump the brakes. If you go back a couple episodes where Zach was speaking about this exact thing, it's like, no, the training programming needs to come from the gym top down. It needs to be a program designed from the gym level. And then the coaches facilitate the program for the clients. That's how you keep the experience the same.
And that's your business, not their business, right? Like, if there are two different businesses. There's great gyms here in the area where you can go as an independent trainer, lease your space, run your own programming. That gym owner, their job is not the client's results. It's to sell to trainers. It's to sell as many trainer positions as they can. They don't care about the client results. They're renting equipment much like a big box model. Yep. It's just two different, different. Yeah. And we see this a lot where gym owners are trying to blend the two of them or not understand the difference between the two of them. And that's a dangerous spot to be in. If experience is going to be the big differentiator, you better damn well have as much control over that experience as possible.
I was waiting for the word to come out, control. There you go. You have to control the experience as the gym owner. This is your name on the building, right? Or in the lease. Your business name is on the building. What happens inside the four walls of that operation is up to you. You have to control it. So if you just let your coaches do whatever they feel like doing today,
clients.
Or clients. Like, hey, Mrs. Johnson doesn't want to
Hey, what do you want to do today?
If you ever have a coach that walks out to the training floor, grabs a clipboard and says, all right, Mrs. Johnson, what do you want to train today? You need to fire the coach tomorrow morning or right now, this afternoon. Just take that session over right now. So this should never be there's never a chance it could be just whatever it is today. It should always be a plan.
Let's break it down. Why? That client is coming to you as a business because what you provide, they don't know, have, and they need, right? Like, you are the resident expert. If you believe in your training like you claim that you do, you would never let your trainer or your client decide what results that they're going to get today.
So the good news is, we've got a solution coming out. We have a software that's going to help gym owners control that product, right? The programming aspect, and actually it builds into the customer experience. Like, the whole point of the software that we created was for experience, because I walked in one day and the programming was still coming from the gym down, right? Zach was handling that. And then the client cards were all out, in these clipboards or on an iPad. And I would walk around, the coaches' heads would be down looking at the programming. And I was like, whoa, hold on. This is not a good look. I fixed it, right? So I said, we got to get the programs up. We called it heads up. I need these coaches' heads up so they can see what's happening. It's not like people were getting hurt and doing crappy form all over the place, but there was potential for it. But at the end of the day, the client should never be having to look for the coach, right? And so now we've got these tablets, right? And I'll do a video, guys. I'm going to post it. I'm going to go out there and just shoot it because it's up and running now. It's awesome, right?
Yeah.
The program's up on the rack. The client can see it. The coach can see it. There's no guesswork, like what's coming up next. We've also put in some cool stuff into the software where we can hide sections and just release them as we want them to see the thing. All these cool things that we're doing. But the big caveat for building that was experience. We had to change the experience in here because I didn't like what I was seeing. It was great for a while, but we got to do better.
Well, let's call a spade a spade. You got, an entirely different gym than you did 3 months ago, simply because we needed to elevate the experience. And in this area, you know, what's new is new. The longevity of the name carried weight, but not like, you know, what we had or what we can showcase with the experience that they have now.
Yeah.
That is exactly what this was done for. It wasn't done because we needed, it wasn't a Hail Mary or a saving grace to go try and drum up new business, but damn near capacity. And we still decided that the experience of the clients far outweighs the name on the side of the building that's been there for 10 years.
Well, I think the takeaway here, guys, is listen, I'm you. I'm practicing what I'm preaching, right? I'm not just telling you guys what to do and I'm doing something else. Do as I say, not as I do. That's not me. I walk it, right? Like this is, I want you guys to see this as an example of what, oh my gosh, right? No, there's levels. There's more levels, and there's more levels after this one. I'm certain this will be a while, and then we'll do something newer, better, right? And so there's always time to get better, and the experience is the differentiator between you and your competition today. And with new gyms coming into my area, I'm glad I did this already. I didn't even know these guys were coming, and then we knew, I felt it, right? There's something needed to change. You can do it too. The programming, the experience of the training workout that your clients do, that's the biggest piece of this entire formula. And if you're leaving that up to the coaches, or if it's not systematized, you're at big risk. And this is something that I want you to take seriously. I want you to go take a hard look at it as if you were the client. Am I getting what I'm paying for here? Am I getting the best result of the experience level that I could be getting against competition, against what I'm getting here, whatever it is? If the answer is no, it's up to you to fix it. And go fix it. It's fixable. That's the good news. You can fix all of this stuff. And so hopefully that helps you guys. Take a hard look at your business today. You've got a brand new year coming up. The calendar's about to flip. With flipping of the calendar year, it's always time for new beginnings, right? Like this is the change, turning over a leaf. You've heard all the analogies, right? Like New Year's, new me, new you, new business, whatever. There's never a bad time to do it, but like this is a great time to do it.
And you have a little bit of time, right? Like you're probably hearing this is what?
November.
Early December.
Yeah.
We know that it's not going to be January 1 when they're all running into your door, right? So take a little bit of the time. In February, into February is when, you know, people start to get off the couch and get, you know, after the Thanksgiving hangover, holiday hangover. That's when your business is going to start to ramp up. So use this little lull, because the holiday times is traditionally one of the quietest times in the
perfect time to do it.
Start making these little changes, guys. Start grilling your business with a fine-tooth comb and figure out where these problems lie. Make the changes so that 2023 is a non-negotiable best year of business yet.
winninggym.com/grow, guys. Would love to chat with you. That's it for this episode. Until next time, keep changing lives. We'll see you on the next show. Bye. All right, and thank you for listening to that episode of the Built to Grow podcast, where we help gym owners win. Now, do you want to connect with me and other gym owners online? All you need to do is join our private Facebook group, Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. Just head on over to Facebook and type in Business Talk with Fitness Professionals, and when you do, we're going to give you our 10 marketing strategies 7-figure gym owners use to win. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until then, keep building something great.